Love is always here. Stop resisting and be present. What if everything, from the stars in the sky to the atoms in your body, moves not because of force, but because of love? What if love isn't just a human emotion, but the very rhythm of the universe, quietly binding everything together? One man, over 700 years ago, saw through the illusions of the material world and discovered this truth. Welcome to Live Stoic, Live Strong, where we trade illusions for truth, where emotions are felt but not obeyed, where clarity is power and discipline is freedom. This is not just a channel. It's a mindset. It's a journey of conscious living. Let's begin. His name was Rumi, Jalal ad-Din Muhammad Rumi, known to many simply as Rumi, or Mevlana, was a 13th century Sufi mystic whose vision of reality still stirs hearts today. In his world, love wasn't just a personal experience. It was the foundation of everything, the invisible current behind every movement in nature. He saw love in the way planets revolve around their stars, in the way galaxies swirl in space, and even in the dance of electrons around the heart of an atom. Everything, from the grandest cosmic structures to the tiniest building blocks of matter, moves in harmony because of love. But Rumi wasn't describing a metaphor. For him, love was not symbolic. It was the actual binding force of the universe. Without it, the cosmos would fall into chaos. With it, everything finds its rightful orbit. In the mystical path of Sufism, the spiritual branch within Islam, love is not something separate from God. It is God. It is the divine essence itself. And only through love can we transcend our limited selves and experience unity with the divine. Love is the bridge. Love is the ocean. And we are just drops longing to return to that infinite sea. Yet divine love is not something to be chased in the world around us. Not in people, not in possessions, not in fleeting pleasures. That kind of search will always leave us thirsty. Rumi teaches that what we are looking for is already inside us. Hidden, glowing, buried beneath layers of ego, fear, and attachment. This love doesn't answer to logic. The mind can't grasp it, no matter how hard it tries. The senses can't detect it, but the soul remembers. And though we cannot understand it, we can taste it. But to taste it, something must shift. We must let go of the things that weigh us down, the illusions of control, the chains of material desire, the craving to possess. Only when we release those burdens can love rise up from within, like a spring that was always there, waiting. Rumi's own path to this realization came through a mystical practice called sama, a form of spiritual listening and surrender. Through this sacred ritual, he rose beyond the world of form and ego, ascending toward the divine with the help of music, poetry, and movement. He taught his followers to lose themselves in music, not just with their ears, but with their whole being. He encouraged them to spin, not aimlessly, but with intention, as a way to dissolve the self and merge into the one. The whirling dervishes, Sufi dancers who still perform this ritual today, carry that legacy forward. Each turn is a prayer, each spin, a step toward divine union. Yet of all the ways Rumi shared his vision, it's his poetry that continues to echo most powerfully. His verses are not bound by religion or language. They are felt by the heart. They speak to something ancient and sacred that lives in all of us. And this video, rather than attempting to cover Rumi's vast legacy in one sitting, will focus on the essence at the heart of it all: love. The kind of love that liberates us from the illusions of the world. the kind that burns away separation and reveals what we've always been. Today, Rumi's poems are read by both believers and skeptics, scholars and artists, wanderers and mystics. Why? Because when his words hit you just right, it's as if the world falls away, and for a moment, you remember what really matters. Wealth, beauty, power, reputation, these things fade. But divine love? That stays. That transforms. That sets the soul on fire. So let's begin. Let's walk with Rumi into that flame and see what we might find there. Before we immerse ourselves in the actual verses of his poetry, let's pause to understand. What is the love Rumi spoke of? And how does one open to it, not just in theory, but in life? Just a moment ago, we stepped into Rumi's universe, a place where love isn't something we seek outside, but a divine essence already flowing within us. Now let's take a closer look at how this love differs from what we usually think of when we hear the word. Throughout our lives, we experience many kinds of love, toward people, animals, objects, or memories. These forms of affection feel real, sometimes even overwhelming. But when seen through the eyes of Rumi, they only resemble true love on the surface. For someone unfamiliar with mysticism, Rumi's poems might seem like the expressions of a man hopelessly in love with another person. He writes with such intensity, such yearning, it's easy to mistake it for romantic passion, and in a way, it is passion. But not for a lover of flesh and bone. Rumi was in love with something else entirely. Something higher. Something the mind cannot define, and language can only point toward in vain. Know that my beloved is hidden from everyone. Know that she is beyond the belief of all beliefs. Know that in my heart she is as clear as the moon. Know that she is the life in my body and my soul. To most of us, love means a bond between two beings, a mutual connection, an emotional exchange. It can be romantic, familial, even platonic. We love others, we love pets, we love art, beauty, nature. But in every case, the love seems to point outward. There is always something, or someone, outside of us, that we believe can complete us. So we search, we long, we hope, we dream of finding that one person, that perfect partner, who can make us feel whole. But often, when we finally believe we've found it, something doesn't quite sit right. Over time, we begin to sense a quiet discomfort. A question stirs within, is this truly it? Yet, even then, attachments form. And once they do, the thought of losing what we love becomes unbearable. Separation brings with it not peace, but pain. And that pain, the heartbreak, the sorrow, the deep ache in the soul, makes us realize that what we thought was love may have been something else. Something more like fear, or need, or dependency. Rumi recognized this. He saw that in the heartbreak of lovers, something unexpected could happen. A doorway opens. The agony of loss, when fully felt, becomes a passageway. Through the burning, something greater is revealed. The agony of lovers burns with the fire of passion. Lovers leave traces of where they've been. The walking of broken hearts is the doorway to God. Rumi's love led him beyond form, beyond names, beyond understanding. It led him into the arms of something timeless, something humanity has tried to describe for millennia. God, Allah, the Tao, emptiness. Each word, different, but all pointing to the same thing. In the Sufi tradition, the goal isn't to possess love in the world. It's to transcend the illusion that love can be found in impermanent things. A mystic's journey is not about chasing affection, but about dissolving into love itself. Even in the best-case scenario, when we do find someone to love, another question soon arises. Will it last? Romantic love, as deep and intoxicating as it can be, is often fleeting. People change, circumstances shift. The person or object we once adored may fade or even disappear. And when that happens, our love falters. It dries up. We look again. We crave again. We begin the cycle anew. When love is rooted in attachment, in ownership, in control, it becomes fragile, easily broken, easily poisoned. The same love that once warmed us turns cold. It becomes the source of jealousy, disappointment, even hatred. Because that love was never unconditional. It came with terms. It came with demands. But Rumi points to something else entirely. To him, true love is unconditional. It expects nothing. It binds nothing. It just is. It flows endlessly from within. Not like a fire that needs fuel, but like the sun that shines, simply because it cannot help but shine. This is the love Rumi writes of. A love that exists within the core of every being. A love that never fades, never dies. It is not found. It is remembered. And in the next part, we'll dive deeper into this. How did Rumi express this divine love through his poetry? What made his words not just beautiful, but transformational? Let's find out. Thank you for staying with Live Stoic, Live Strong. It means you're seeking more than words. We're here for that journey with you. Previously, we began to see that the love Rumi speaks of isn't the kind that fades with time or depends on another person. It's eternal, divine, and born from within. Now, we dive deeper into the very nature of this love. Unlike romantic love, which flickers and fades, needing constant attention and fuel to survive, the love Rumi speaks of is like a sacred flame that never dies. It does not consume resources to stay alive. It does not waver in the absence of affection or presence. This love is a steady, ceaseless fire, burning from an invisible source that lies deep within us. Rumi reminds us that not everyone will find this love. Many may live their whole lives without even suspecting that such a force exists. Others might mock those who speak of it, mistaking it for fantasy or delusion. But for those who've tasted it, like Rumi himself, it becomes the only thing worth returning to again and again. To Rumi, divine love was not a poetic metaphor. It was a lived experience, so powerful. He willingly gave up the pull of worldly comforts to pursue it. He chose the path of surrender, where possessions, titles, attachments, and even personal preferences became obstacles rather than treasures. For many of us, the idea of giving up what we cling to, our belongings, our relationships, our image in the eyes of society, feels impossible. Why let go of what brings us pleasure or status? But the mystic sees differently. He sees that in chasing temporary pleasures, we are only searching for gasoline to keep a small flame alive. And this very search blinds us from discovering the infinite fire that already lives inside. This inner fire is more than just the ability to love others unconditionally. It is also the ability to receive love fully. It is the path to Rumi's true beloved, the divine presence he often called God. This love, unlike human affection, is never possessive. It asks for nothing in return. It doesn't depend on moods, expectations, or merit. It is constant. It is patient. It is whole. You wait patiently, looking into my intoxicated eyes. You accept my passion with the serenity of love. You are the master of existence. One day, I shall be a lover like you. Can you imagine what it would be like to have access to that kind of love? A love that flows endlessly, that accepts you as you are, without condition, without judgment? A love that doesn't choose based on who you are or what you've done? According to Rumi, this love is not a distant dream. It's here, now, within reach of every human soul. But to touch it, we must open ourselves, not with force, not with striving, but with surrender. I'm your lover, come to my side. I will open the gate to your love. Come settle with me. Let us be neighbors to the stars. In his verses, Rumi often describes love as a kind of intoxication, so potent that he loses all sense of self. He no longer sees a difference between the lover, the love, and the beloved. It all becomes one. Warm, mysterious, boundless, alive. It echoes the first flush of romantic passion, when everything else in life seems to fade into the background. When lovers are completely absorbed in one another, as if the whole world exists only in their shared gaze. In that ecstatic state, worries dissolve. Sorrows fall silent. Time slows. Only the beloved remains. And then comes surrender. A surrender not of defeat, but of devotion. A full giving over of oneself to something greater. And this, Rumi teaches, is the mystic's gateway to divine union. The mystic does not chase love like a possession to be acquired. Instead, he lets go of the self that desires. He releases the grasp, and in doing so, he merges with the beloved. I am ready to forsake this worldly life and surrender to the magnificence of your being. To take the path of divine love, Rumi says, is not about gaining. It's about shedding. Not about climbing higher, but about dissolving deeper. And as we move forward, we begin to ask, what does it mean to surrender in real life? What steps did Rumi take to enter that divine union? That's what we'll explore in the next part of this journey. In the last part, we saw that divine love isn't something we must earn. It's something we surrender into. But why does it feel so hard to reach? What keeps us from merging with it fully? The answer, Rumi tells us, lies in our attachments, our clinging to the things of this world. These attachments, whether to people, possessions, beliefs, or identities, create anxiety. They make us feel threatened, separate, and incomplete. So what do? We build walls. We guard ourselves. We tighten the grip. But here's the paradox. In trying to protect ourselves, we end up shutting ourselves off from the very thing we long for most: connection, love. Rumi offers a simple yet profound metaphor. Imagine a glass jar filled with water, floating in the middle of the ocean. That jar is surrounded by the sea on all sides, touched by it, moved by its waves. And inside the jar? Water too. The same substance, the same essence. But no matter how close they seem, the water inside and the ocean outside cannot unite. Why? Because of the jar. That jar is our ego, our fear, our pride, our insistence on staying separate, in control. And yet, the longing within us is clear. The water in the jar aches to become part of the ocean again. And the ocean? It waits quietly, patiently, lovingly, ready to welcome it home. But for that to happen, the jar must break. Love is not something we need to chase far and wide. It is already around us, within us, beneath us. But the vessel we've built, our shell of attachments, must dissolve. Only then can we return to the source. Rumi says it clearly. We must die in this love. Not a physical death, but the death of the false self. The layers of resistance and illusion. When we allow this kind of dying, something beautiful happens. Our soul is reborn, refreshed, renewed. Yet most of us unknowingly turn our backs on this love, not out of malice, but confusion. We search in the wrong places, hoping to find wholeness in success, status, possessions, or even other people. But these are only shadows, temporary reflections. They cannot satisfy the soul's hunger. So what must we do? We must break the chains. Gently, but deliberately. Let go of the worldly concerns that keep us distracted and divided. Release the grip. Only then can we become whole again. Not by adding something, but by removing what blocks the flow of love already within us. According to Rumi, the answer isn't in seeking more love. It's in stopping the resistance to the love that's already there. But that, as every Sufi mystic knows, is no simple task. It takes devotion. It takes practice. It takes the courage to unlearn everything we thought love was. So now, as we gently close the pages of Rumi's world, let his words echo within you, not as poetry, but as invitation. An invitation to let go, to stop searching, to begin remembering. The love Rumi spoke of isn't waiting somewhere far away. It's already here. It's in the quiet, in the stillness, in every breath you take. We are not separate drops in need of the ocean. We are the ocean, pretending to be drops. So maybe today, we stop asking, "Where is love?" And instead we ask, "What is keeping me from becoming it?" If Rumi's words touch something in you, something that can't be explained, only felt, then carry that spark with you. Nourish it. Sit with it. Let it burn gently, like the sacred fire it is. Because in the end, as Rumi said, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Thank you for walking this path with me. Until next time, stay open, stay present, and above all, stay in love. Thank you for your time. If one idea touched you today, come back next time. It may reach deeper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a quiet moment. See you in the next video.